Hey everyone, welcome to Gundam Time. My name is Andrea, and for this video, I'm going to do a long-awaited and much-needed video on how to be a good club leader, how to run a good club, how not to be a jerk as a club leader. Are you running a good club? Is your club good? I don't know what the title is going to be, but that's basically the topic. I've had it requested many times, and you guys know that like my life is really crazy right now. I'm working a lot of hours, and I just don't play games right now very much. So anyway, so I do think that this video is very needed because it's really hard to run clubs, especially when you're only allowed 10 players and there is no chat in game. And I'm going to go into that in a little bit. But so there's a couple things that we're going to go over that I want to help you guys with and make you guys aware of. And I might as well be playing the game while I'm yammering, right? Anyway, so the first thing is when you set up your club, you have to be at least level 7. And it's going to require some gems. I think it was like 500 or 1,000 gems or something like that. I honestly can't remember at this point, but I have it in a previous video. So if you need to know that, I don't see why you would, because it should tell you if you want to create a club, unless you're currently in a club. Yeah, so go ahead and go watch one of my previous videos on clubs. I've got a bunch of them. And anyway, so we're going to talk about that. So when you're going to set up a club, you have to be city level 7, and they have it set up so that people... if you make your club public, people who are roughly the same city level as you will find your club, which I think is really great. And I know some of you guys are going to be like, yeah, well, that's because you're a high level city and you don't want to hang out with lower level people. And yeah, that's kind of true, actually. But there's a reason for it, and I will get into that. So let me stop playing the game and let's talk about creating a club. So when you create your club, the name that you put on it, and this is a trend that I'm hoping that will take off, that we can get started. Put the required amount of XP that you want people to donate in the name. So for example, if I was going to change it from Gundam Time, like if I went G Time, just to shorten it, G Time 24K day 1. Okay? So that means 24,000 experience or XP expected to be salvaged on day 1 within the first 24 hours. If you only want it to be 24,000 XP, then just leave it like that. If you want it to be like 5K, like I have with my club 3, then that's also fine. And if you want it to be like week 1, then do week 1. If you want it to be day 1, day 5, whatever, then do that. Okay, so I'm just going to recommend that because that tells people right off the bat what your expectations are for this club that you are creating. Okay, because we can't communicate in game, and I know how difficult it is to. A lot of people use Discord, but not everyone does, and not everyone even knows what Discord is, and not everyone wants to create a Discord server or wants to be in a Discord group or in a server or whatever. And so it's really challenging if you don't have a way outside of the game to communicate. So go ahead and put in your title of your game, title of your club, what you want their XP to be. And I don't need to do that because I've got a YouTube channel, and everybody in here knows who I am, right? And they know what my expectations are. Right now it's 12K for this season. And it was supposed to be day 1, but yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Oh wait, you know what? This dude, you're actually on YouTube. You are on YouTube, right? I believe you are on YouTube. Anyway, so it's supposed to be 12K on day 1, but it is a more relaxed season, and this club, it just went through major turnover. Like I only had Great North, Gustavo, and MTG Meeting Jake. Meeting Jake is what I say when I say his name. Those were the only 3 who stuck around. Levi was in Club 2 and joined us. And the rest, why do I recognize your name, dude? Anyway, the rest of them joined because they follow me on YouTube, and they, and so it's kind of been a brand new club. We're just barely getting back off the ground again. And so I'm not being super, what's the word, strict right now. Okay, so I'm actually going to talk about city requirements later. So we'll get to that later because that's the part I am most excited to talk about because I have very, very, very strong feelings on that. So, and the level that you want your club to be. Okay, so let's see. Your club will follow your lead, okay? The reason they're not following my lead is because they already know what my situation is. But if you are a club leader and you don't salvage, and when people after a little while, they might not recognize this, but a lot of people will wait until the leader salvages, because then they know that it's okay for them to salvage. Because as you guys know, anybody who is not a member of the club at the start of the season or when other people salvage will not be able to take part in the rewards. And a good club leader wants all club members, new and old, to receive those rewards. And so people will follow the leader once they are trained to do so. Don't salvage until you want everyone to salvage. That's going to be my first rule that I'm going to recommend. So if you want your people to salvage, then you salvage, and they can salvage when you do. If you don't want them to, then don't salvage. If you want them to salvage a certain amount, you can stick it in your club name, which is what I recommend, and then they don't even have to wait for you if it's a full club. Or you can salvage however much you want them to salvage when you want them to salvage. Okay. So that's one of the first things, okay? I will recommend, and everybody, like, this drives me nuts, okay, guys? People come to me, they're like, I can donate 5K on day one and another 5K throughout the season. Guys, it is the same amount of work if you donate 5K on day one and 5K throughout the rest of the season versus just donating 10K on day one, okay? That 5K that is donated throughout the rest of the season is basically wasted salvaged items, because the rewards that you get, you aren't able to benefit from throughout the rest of the season. And the rewards I'm talking about are rewards, the all profit right here, this right here. Okay, this all profit makes a huge difference in how fast you get through cities. And if you're like up here and getting this all profit, the ×2, the 2x all profit on day 13, that is a waste of gear. That is a waste of the whole season. And it's, like I said, it's the same amount of work to salvage on day one as it is to salvage throughout the season. So if you're playing the game throughout the season, save your dang gear and donate it all on day one. Don't donate it throughout the season. It's such a waste of gear, such a waste of rewards. And there's so many other rewards in here you could have been benefiting from throughout that time. Like maybe if you got all the way up to level 50, and in this last thing right here, maybe you got your mythic gear that you needed and you're able to build it, and then you have 2 full weeks to use that gear to get you the XP gear donation items ready for the next season. It's so much better, guys. Just donate on day one. Stop donating throughout the season. Same amount of work. You just have to learn how to save, and not everybody knows how to save. Not everybody knows how to hold off on opening boxes if they can't resist upgrading their dudes in here, right? Anyway, okay, so that's one of my pet peeves. But it makes sense, guys. There's a reason why I recommend it. It's just more logical, and it's better for everybody in the club all around. Okay, so like I said, save what you earn throughout the season. Donate the required amount on day one. Upgrade your gear with leftovers and repeat. So if you're required to donate 4K, right? You come in here, and I don't have anything to salvage right now. I mean, I could salvage a couple of these things or whatever. Anyway, so if you're required to donate a certain amount, donate it first. Club comes first, because once the club gets where it needs to go, then you have better things, the things that you actually need, more at your fingertips. Anyway, so salvage your things first, and then use your leftover stuff to upgrade your gear. And if you never have leftover stuff, then you're in a club that is too high for you, because you should always have leftover stuff unless you're burnt out and just want to hang out with people, your friends, which is where I've been. Okay, so club give benefits when given for a full 2 weeks, make the rest of the season better. Okay, club leaders, give new players a season of grace. And my rule is I give new players a full season before I require them to donate the required XP. The reason for that is you have no idea in most cases where they came from. Maybe they donated all of their XP to a previous club and they lost it all and they don't have anything to donate. They need to take the 2 full weeks to build up. So give new players 1 grace season to get caught up from their previous club. Don't boot them after they've only been in your club for 1 or 2 days. Gosh, it drives me absolutely nuts. What do you do if players don't donate the required amount of XP? Again, give them that first grace season, the first week or 2 or whatever, however long they've been in there. Like if they come in halfway through the season, give them the rest of the season and to get caught up. Err on the side of patience, though. Like give them the benefit of the doubt, and don't be a jerk, guys. And that's one of the titles I'm thinking about using for this. Don't be a jerk leader of your club. Treat people how you want to be treated, basically. If you don't mind getting booted when life gets crazy and you aren't able to play the game, then go ahead and boot players, even ones that have been around for a long time, unless you have a way to communicate them. Um, don't, and if you don't want somebody to boot you for not playing, like maybe you end up in the hospital. I've had that happen. Maybe somebody gets really sick and they can't play, and I didn't choose to boot them because I was like, you know what, I don't know what's going on in their life, and they were able to come back and be a good club member again after. So if you don't want to be booted from a club, then don't boot other people. And being a cutthroat club leader, nobody likes those people. I mean, I've been there, but I've had other club members that were willing to step up when somebody wasn't able to donate the required amount, and it all worked out fine. It was just totally fine. And it's a game, guys. Real life comes first. Okay. Another recommendation, when people want to leave the club, so if I'm going to kick, him, right? I'm not going to kick you, by the way. If I were to kick Great North, it would make it so that he does not have the 12-hour cooldown. And so if you know somebody wants to leave your club, kick them so that they can go and join a different club right away. And don't be petty about it, and don't be sad and jealous and all of that, okay? All right. My recommendation, why I tell you don't boot people frequently, is because club members perform better when they feel secure in their club. So basically, when the turnover isn't high, when it's the same people all the time, they feel a sense of fellowship with other players, even if they can't communicate with each other. And even if they can't communicate with each other, they'll start to work better together, because you see, somebody's donated 12K, then this person down here's like, oh goodness, I haven't donated enough, and they'll see that this person up here donated that much, and then everybody just starts to work better together. And if it's the same names in here over and over, they feel more secure in a club, which means they'll be more able to donate without feeling like they're about to get booted. So like when you boot people frequently, you're making it so that people are gun shy. They don't want to donate and lose their XP just in case the club leader chooses to boot them right after they donate. That's just such a jerk thing to do. Now, people, even if they can't communicate with each other, they'll start to work better together as a team. I did want to talk about communication. So chat feature, everybody's always saying, when are they going to give us a chat feature? When are they going to give us a chat feature? Guys, they're probably never going to give us a chat feature, and they have good reasons for it. So I don't know. Some of you guys know that I'm a content creator for Bandai Namco Entertainment. They do like Pac-Man, and they do Gundam related games, and they're really awesome. I have a rep in the company who is absolutely phenomenal. And, shout out to him. He's awesome. Anyway, so when the game that I started this YouTube channel for really took off, people were always like, we need a chat feature. We need to be able to chat with our teammates, right? And they implemented it. And there was a lot of bugs at first. There was a whole lot of back-end work to get chat features to work. It's not just a simple, hey, I want people to be able to talk to each other. All right, it's done. I mean, it doesn't work that way. It requires a lot of work around in the back end, and you have to make it work on a bajillion different phones between Androids and iPhones and all the other phones that are out there, which are mainly just Android. I know does Microsoft Windows still have a phone? I don't know. Anyway, so there's a lot of technical stuff. But guys, that's not the only thing. You guys are probably rolling your eyes. Of course, there's technical stuff. There's also legal stuff. There are minors who play this game, and every country has different laws when it comes to minors and the language you can use around a minor. So in the United States, I know that I'm not going to go into laws of individual places. Sorry, just not going to do that. Anyway, so if you have young people, minors in a game who have access to a chat, you have to understand, you have to know what the laws are in each country where your game is available, and you have to be able to abide by those laws. Otherwise, you run the risk of getting shut down, sued, fined, lots of bad stuff. And so they have to know what the laws are, and they have to be able to implement those laws in the chat. And so, like, if you guys have ever played, what is the game? Clash of Clans. The chat in there, if you have people under the age of 18, it can get really ridiculous. Like it's like everybody's swearing all over the place because it marks everything as a swear word, right? Because there's so many laws that go around all of the things that you can say and do around children, right? So that is a big hurdle for a lot of game makers, and it's just not worth it in most cases. It doesn't increase, I mean, it does increase the players, their enjoyment of the game, but is it going to increase it enough to make it worth their money to implement that update to the game? It might not be, honestly. And Eatventure's been around for a while, and they're focusing on other games, and there's just a chance it's just not worth it for them financially to implement that sort of a feature. Anyway, so now I want to talk about, I promised you guys I was going to talk about this. So, drive through. I hate this one so much. Everybody hates it. It's horrible. Here, we'll go ahead and give it a boost so it can be sitting around hanging out. Okay, so I'm going to talk about city requirements. Like I said, I promised you I'd talk about it. So, I have mine set to 200. I'm actually going to drop it to 1. Nope, I'm not going to. I'm not going to drop it because I promise I have one spot open, and I promised to somebody, and he is below that city requirement, and I did promise him that he could have that spot. So I'm going to give it to him first, even before I actually, I'm just going to drop it to 150 because I don't even have to release this video before before you guys see it, before he sees it or whatever. Okay, so everybody's like, I want to be in a city that hits level 50 all the time. I want to be in a club that hits level 50 all the time. I want to make it so that people are only city level 1,000, or people are only city level a bajillion, right? Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and come in here. I'm going to draw for you guys. So let me erase a bunch of this stuff just so I can draw for you guys. And la di da di da 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 da. And there's a reason for this. Like, I'm gonna have fun. I love doing this stuff. I love being able to write on my phone. It's one of my favorite things about this phone. My phone is the Samsung Galaxy S23, and I really love this phone. Okay, so let's go back to pink because pink is my favorite color. All right. Okay, so there is a bell curve when it comes to people who play, not just actively, but who play Eatventure. So we're going to go like this and then down, okay? Right here, you got people who are like City 7, right? They're right here, okay? City 7 players can't do a whole lot. Then up at the top, you got people who are like City 3,000 or even 1,000. And they are done. They're done with the game. They're burned out, okay? Burned out. That does say burned out. Anyway, there is a sweet spot when it comes to creating a club and the city level requirement. That sweet spot is going to be in the bell curve, and it's going to be here and here, okay? Right here for people who are a little bit lower, and right here for people a little bit higher. Requiring people to be up here means that your club is going to have a lot of turnover as people burn out. They're going to get what they need out of mythics and out of the rings and the necklaces and the pets, and then they're going to be done. There's nothing more for them to work out. And people people in this level here, maybe about to here, they don't have enough power to really push a club forward as much as club leaders want them to. And so when people are like, oh, you can only be city level 3,000 or oh, you can only be city level 2,000 or whatever, I'm like, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Yes, you're going to hit level 50, but you're going to have your team burning out all the time. And I'm speaking from experience, guys, because I used to require a very high level city, and I required people to have very high mythic, and I'm like, you have to have meta gear. Well, guess what? The people who are most motivated to contribute to a club and who are the most motivated to play the game are people who are in this part right here who do not have all the gear they need, and they don't have the mythics. They don't have the pet that they want. They want to be in an active club that could potentially reach city level 30 to 50. By the way, city 30 is good. Club level 30 is good. Don't look at that as bad. That is really good. 50, of course, is ideal, but club level 30 is good. Anyway, if they're working towards something, then they have a reason to be contributing to your club, and your club is going to be more successful overall. They also have a higher motivation to get to level 50 than they would otherwise, because people up here don't care anymore. Like, they've played the game for a long time. They're burned out. They're done. Sure, they'll get to level 50 a couple of times, but it may be to help one club member. But if they've already got everything they need, then they don't really have the motivation to do it. And like I said, people down here can't really do a whole lot because they don't have the right gear yet. Unless you're my alt account, which is city level 42 and has almost all mythic stuff. That's because, guys, I have a platform. Anyway, so that's what I wanted to say about this. So the bell curve and your sweet spot is probably going to be in here somewhere, and that's probably going to be like city 50, city we'll say city 200 and city like 400, something like that, okay? So your sweet spot is going to be under 500 most likely. maybe 500 to 750. It just depends on where people are. Okay, let's see. We're going to discard that. And whether you make your club private or public, this part right here, if you have specific people you want to have join, like if you have a platform or a Discord server that's active, then make your club private and allow people to come in through you. If you don't, then make it public. And I think that's pretty self-explanatory. You guys probably already knew that, but I wanted to say it anyway. All right, so that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Don't be a jerk club leader. And I want to do a video eventually on how to be a good club leader, a good club member. But honestly, because I had that request and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. But guys, honestly, a club is based off of how somebody leads it. And if you have a dumb club leader, then your club is most likely going to be dumb. And if you have a good club leader, then your club is most likely going to be good. And of course, there's going to be exceptions to that. There's always exceptions, but lead by example. If you want them to do a certain thing, then do a certain thing yourself, okay? And apologies to my club members for me not being that way, because I'm like telling you guys to do what I'm not doing, but they understand. I have extenuating circumstances. And anyway, okay, so that's pretty much it for this video. Like I said, hit the like and the subscribe button and the bell icon to be alerted to future videos. And I will talk to y'all later. Goodbye.